And,
Double Sage.
How she doesn't really maybe have a place on Ascent at times. Double Sage. Interesting.
Double Sage. It's
mummAy.
very interesting. mummAy, Mitch, Relyks, Calypso, bringing up the Omens as well. We have a Jett on TenZ, not necessarily on Envy. I think, is it aKis who ops? I'm not sure who ops on Envy. Didn't do my research because I forgot to. But no Jett is my point. No Jett to run the operator, the big zoomer. Either way, pistol round is now underway, and it's going to be an early commitment over towards A. All 5 players are here towards long, slowly lurking forward as TenZ plays below the balcony. His teammate plays above. Here comes Utoid. The Slorb is out, but kaboose will win the duel. mummAy finds the second as well. TenZ and shinobi, the heavy hitter. And the Sova dispatched. Relyks does find one on the fadeaway, peeking through the Slorb. He will only find one, but more importantly, he will get away. That makes this retake a little more manageable. Still, though, a 3 versus 4 going into the post plant will be difficult.
Impossible at the same time. There's still a glimmer of hope for C9, but it might just be kind of put out by aKis, who's actually on the long flank around over towards Catwalk. If the timing works out for him, this would be gigantic. It seems like they're kind of holding off before they actually go for the retake. There is going to be a paranoia in effect, but they haven't checked for aKis. He struggles to get that first kill, but it does eventually come through, and kaboose will finish off the last couple of players. 1-0 start. NVS take it very convincingly with the long flank and all the fancy whims.
A big round to say the least. Again, this map tends to be more defender-sided, so the fact that you can win that pistol round fairly convincing fashion on the attacking side is a very solid start, putting the best foot forward to say the least. And Envy, they can turn this to 2-3, and then from there, on the first rifle round, if they can get 4 off of a bonus, that would be absolutely stunning. Would already call into question the outcome of this game.
Well, triple stack from C9 over towards mid. I like that, personally. Again, TSM like doing this a lot. There's this one crazy round where Hayes actually somehow managed to get a 3K with the classic holding over towards here. So there's some promise for C9, and that promise is always starting to deliver. Vice is going to appear in the kill feed first here. Mitch will close the distance as well. TenZ also doing the same to close the distance. And wow, how is this working out so well for C9? I am absolutely baffled, but they're going to look to make this one flawless. It's mummAy versus the world, and he has to be so dazed, confused on what went wrong. The thing is, it went wrong from the start. It just happened.
I have no idea. I am dumbfounded. 4 kills make that 5. TenZ to the smoke will add insult to injury. A flawless victory and an answer back. As I talked about, getting a little bit ahead of myself, admittedly. Envy taking that round should have, honestly, by all metrics, done so. And from there, maybe found some luck in the third, but in fact, they'll find no respite even in the second. It will be a convincing victory from Cloud9. And a swift clap back of what was a confident pistol round take towards A.
That sucks for Envy to lose it in that fashion. At the same time, though, I mean, that was just wonderfully played by C9 from start to finish. They had a fantastic read on how to actually handle that mess over towards mid. Now, I'm not 100% certain. I didn't really take a glance at the radar like I should have, but was there anybody top mid for Envy as well? Because I feel like that could have single-handedly snuffed out a lot of the big issues that arose for Envy.
It was passive with a they were slorbed off and smoked off.
That's unreal. C9, that's beautiful. Something that I don't think would work more than maybe once or twice, but they can get themselves on the board and get those guns posted early. Well. And when they have those rifles in their hands, they are wonderful with it. Taking down kaboose, who got off to a fiery start, no pun intended, already has that run it back online, but it's not going to be used, obviously, into this one. Now, it seems that really Envious kind of are ground to a bit of a halt. They don't exactly know where realistically they can push through here. They know that there's most likely a player situated over towards Wine, but regardless of knowing that fact, FNS will still lose the duel. And aKis, same story will be for him over towards TenZ. Another very clean round from Cloud9 as they make it a 2-1. And holy, that is just probably the best start that Cloud9 could have hoped for.
Beyond the pistol round victory, it is most certainly the best start they could have asked for. They went flawless 2 rounds in a row. They picked up rifles in the last, or whatever weapons that Envy brought into it, and they brought them into this previous round. That was round 3. Used them to great effect, a flawless round at that, and now they enter the 4th round with what is essentially a bonus. Look at this. Everybody above 3K, they're just bringing in the scout, this time on Vice. upgraded TenZ to a Phantom. Still an Ares on the board as well. It's second A as well. Just to boot, make sure those subpar weapons can still get the damage in. Very interesting from Cloud9 and a very comfortable spot to be in here early on in the first half.
Beautiful. Absolutely love what Cloud9 have in store for us, but NVS can do them one better. Stacking 3 players over towards Catwalk seemed to be exactly what the doctor ordered, and now really it's going to be all on C9 to try to deal with this somehow. They are just trying to take fights that I thought they wouldn't be able to win, but apparently they can. TenZ doesn't care about the rules of Valorant, the rules of smart duels, because apparently he's just the smartest one out of all of us here. Tosses down that smoke and then jumps inside of it with a shorty and gets a kill out of it. That is huge news. And C9 might get rewarded with a round win because of that fact alone. NVS, they're not out of it
I have
yet,
retrieved
however.
the spike.
No, they aren't. Slowly slipping forward. Kaboose towards heaven. His position is known, but just have a little wiggle room to work with. In the meanwhile, as well, FNS, or Finesse, as many people call him now, that's what he wants to be called, slowly lurks forward, regains the spike on Catwalk, and will now get the spike plant with a post plant towards heaven, which is very odd and very unorthodox for the attacking side. Yet that's what they have to work with. Kaboose slowly clearing everything out, but Cloud9, they've rotated elsewhere. Still towards long. TenZ is here. He will be spotted. Gives away his position, but his teammate is now towards short. Cypher gives away his position, grabs the operator, but doesn't clear deep enough. He'll fall. Kaboose, that third kill. Now TenZ with the blade, tries to get it done, but Kaboose, absolutely insane headshot. Absolutely clinical crosshair position. And what a round for Envy to come back into it and to tie things up at that. However, take that with a pinch of salt, because it was a bonus round for Cloud9. It was expected given the subpar weapons that they should fall, and all things considered, they put up a good fight with taking out 3 of the 5 Envy players.
So it was a massive round from Kaboose individually, picking up 4 at the end of it. That running back still online, and I mean, hell, if he used it on that first round he had it available, he would already be like over halfway to having another one. That just kind of shows how monumental he's been early on in Ascent. Right now, it looks like they're still going to be going for these early fights. I was going to say a fight from Envy over towards mid seems to be on the cards, but just as I was about to say that, it already does indeed come to fruition. Great start once more from Envy, but this is kind of where C9 like to go ahead and make their aggro pushes happen. They know that kind of is on them to try to make a play happen. Mitch realizes that, but still can't make it quite work out. The double, or the trade out wasn't quite a possibility. Shinobi still will get that kill on his way out, but he only takes down the run it back. A 3 versus 5 for NVS. And this is a wonderful start for them once again, only at the cost of a single run it back. They have taken down 2, including the Resurrection and Calypso. Okay, right on time, we'll get another one. Finally, Vice will show up. But this is going to be a free site for the taking for NBS, and what a wonderful fashion they've done it in as well. A very cheap round, it seems like, for them.
What a take, what a read. They walked into a free site with such confidence, much to the chagrin of Cloud9, they'll take it, and they'll take this third round. At this point, it looks like Cloud9 are going for exits towards grass. Shinobi posted for the heaven push, and his teammate, the Cypher, posted for the grass push. It's a very odd spot to hold. Really can't get multiple here. In fact, the spike might just get them on the detonation. We'll have to see exactly what happens, and if they choose to pull out before that dreaded weapon of mass destruction goes off. Either way, it will be a victory for Envy, and again, they take the lead. It will be 3-2, and a very solid start on their attacking side.
If we can take a gander at the guns that are being saved from Cloud9 at the moment, I think it's just 2 Phantoms, but yeah, 2 Phantoms. If there's any operator down, I don't know, that would be huge, because if they could get that into someone like TenZ's hands, not even TenZ, is really anybody on Cloud9, all of them are more than capable with it. I think that single-handedly could have changed the outcome of this coming round, which, actually taking a look at the money, it's not going to be half-bad. Shinobi can easily drop. Never mind, I don't know why I was worried. They're even going to have enough money to get a double operator set up out. I mean, I feel like they could have gone for maybe some more aggressive exits, because NVS, their money isn't looking all too pretty. Some of these players, after buying up, only have about $2,000 in the bank. Never mind what I was saying about the doomsaying scenario of their economy. It's still looking fine. Crisis averted.
I think that comes down to their 2 flawless rounds, right? Absolutely fantastic. It really sets the economy up in a good position, and that helps as well. TenZ will get the opening with the support towards the long. That's kaboose dispatched the Phoenix, one of the duelist agents. As now Calypso drops the operator back towards the Sage. Envy find themselves at a disadvantage, which is pretty rare. It's either TenZ opening it up and finding the advantage, or it's Envy pushing towards the middle or elsewhere to find that early kill. Either way, still plenty of time to work with. Go ahead, Ito.
I was gonna say, Envy don't really have to commit to bringing it over towards A here, and I'm kind of a bit afraid that they do it. There is still that Cypher lurking in the back that could single-handedly be a bit of a pincer over towards Catwalk, but it doesn't seem to actually be useful whatsoever. They'll just go ahead and make this push happen on their own terms. They lose the duel immediately to TenZ, who's kind of bleeding internally, still alive and kicking. However, he's done his job. He's done more than what his job description provides, and really he's going to continue to try looking for a little bit more. Shinobi tries to peek, but TenZ is still kicking. It's going to be the ace for him.
The
25, yeah, 25 HP for those last 3. Unbelievable.
That's just how it be. The quick peaks coming in from TenZ. He's the highest being on the server, are tied for it at 60. This game can be quite difficult at those levels, but again, we were talking about it. We were hyping him up. TenZ, and it appears for good reason. 11-3. He got 5 in the last round with it alone. 25 HP, as you mentioned, for the last 3. If he can move around, if he can keep Envy guessing as to where he is and make them scared to take angles and take duels, this game could quickly go in his team's favor. He can make Envy play his game.
Quiet for right now. TenZ is still kicking. And again, it feels like such a cop-out to always fall back on the TenZ factor, but it really is alive and well on Ascent. Still early days for both teams. So maybe there's a chance for him to cool down. I love this setup that Cloud9 have in effect. We saw it used a little bit earlier. Last time we saw Ascent. The double stack up is just wonderful to catch off any early plays, and Envy, again, ground to a halt. This push doesn't exactly seem possible at the moment. There's going to be a tripwire waiting right around the corner. Relyks is also going to be present for the occasion. And maybe they can get the spike down. If they get it down, relative safety over towards the generator, and especially so after aKis finds that kill. Red's going to be used as well, something that is very tough to do from time to time when you're actually playing on Ascent, but it seems to work out just fine. And that gives a newfound rejuvenation, a newfound hope for Cloud9 into this retake, into this round, Nate.
It does. Good revive combined with Hunter's Fury to keep those players above at bay, so post plants could be established and suddenly turned on its head. The spam does come in, but all players are towards heaven. It's a very unidirectional attempt at the retake, and for that reason, it could be very difficult. TenZ will try to take point. He'll find 2 with the blades, a 3rd with the blades. Is he over the hits again? Yes, he is. It's 2 in a row as TenZ takes it. All 5 are his, 4 with the blades. And a 4th round for Cloud9. It's the TenZ game, ladies and gentlemen. The TenZ game.
TenZ kills in 2 rounds. I mean, the joke writes itself. That is, again, like, this man has a lot of expectations on his shoulders, and he lives up to every single one. He's 16-3. We're 7 rounds into this mess. I can only hope to do this sort of thing in unrated, much less the lower brackets, the lower bracket finals, I should say. Excuse me, semifinals.
He has more kills combined than either A, his team, or B, his opponents. Either way, he has more. That's crazy. That's insane.
We need to go ahead and refocus because in Envy, surely they're not going to get ace 3 times in a row, right? Right?
Never doubt it.
Oh, they're trying to snuff out this player early on if they so possibly can. The prodigal talent. It's gotten off to a banging start in this best of 1. And what a time to show up as well. He's going to continue with it. That's 11 kills now. Oh my lord, please put a stop to this man. Envy, they're more than capable of doing it. They have beaten C9 in the past. Right now, I mean, they're just being stopped by the single player on C9.
Yes, they are. And now I ask the question, is this the mythical 40? Is it? It's definitely feeling like it. The feeling is in the air. Relyks, he'll fall. Okay, the Sheriff does do its job. Now things get a little bit more interesting as market has been taken, but it will need to be spammed down, and Shinobi's in a perfect spot to stop this take. And cement the round in his team's favor. Let's get the first one, but he's spotted. It's too many players to find. Calypso will get the trade. Mitch now entering back from the back of side. He has the second operator. It's been quiet for the last 2 rounds, but he'll find 2 this time around. The last player alive is Sova. aKis trying to find something, just a kill on the way out. At this point, it seems impossible, and TenZ just absolutely dashing forward, gets to the solid off kill. The confidence on this man is going unchecked, and I'm sure his ego is insurmountable. Absolutely amazing from TenZ.
This is the best start that Cloud9 could ever hope for. A bit slower, obviously, for Envious as FNS. You know, just to point out the obvious, he started out in an 0-6. Again, not the end of the world. Sometimes that's just how it is when you're playing Cypher, especially the sort of roles that he's been playing. You know, he's always been kind of the last person to rotate over as executes begin. I really want to see a little bit more focus on mid control from Envious. I feel like that was probably the most promising attempt in a while. You know, even disregarding TenZ's incredible streak in these past couple of rounds. I like how they're able to take market control. That door really kind of ground them to a halt. But if they can take maybe even CT control, dedicated player there, you know, late on the lurk, maybe they'll have a little bit more hope. Maybe they agree with it. To actually focus a little bit more on B, but they do have a player lurking a little bit over towards CT, so at least they have a little bit of control in that regard. The XE has already come fully into fruition, and Envious, they are more than present for the occasion. Bomb is lagging behind, though. This could really throw a spanner into the works, however. They need to find these kills and safely make a path for mummAy to cross, and indeed they will. That's a little bit scary and has me kind of on the edge of my seat, to be honest. Cloud9, do they regroup and try to go for this, or do they save these guns for another day?
Silence.
It does indeed look like a save at this point. Calypso, make sure it isn't one, however. Both operators dispatched. A flawless round for Envy, and finally, some form of resistance to the Cloud9 onslaught is beginning to form. TenZ, he went for the Phantom push in the last round. It was very interesting to see. Didn't quite pan out, but it was indeed looking magical when he got into that smoke without really being spotted or called out. It could have been something, but unfortunately too many players peeking him. Well played by Envy to get into the B site.
Even 4 still for TenZ. It's just, every time I glare at the scoreboard, it just stands out like a sore thumb. Unbelievable. Well, slower approach from Envy. They're showing that they're still a team to be contested with. Here's that mid control that I mentioned to be key to their victory, but Calypso gets ground to a halt once more. How many times can I say it? TenZ once more in the kill feed. Still dedicated in over towards Grass, who could have actually had a really big play available, but unfortunately don't quite connect. The rotates are going to be there just in time, though, to at least make this a little bit more difficult as they try to make their ascent onto the A bomb site. Closing as well, just kind of sneaking under it. Last possible moment. Something out of an action movie here, but as with all action movies, here comes the climax, and, well, turns out to be a little bit anticlimactic. I'm gonna have a bad review for this movie on Rotten Tomatoes. As it's a 2 versus 2, there's still time for maybe something a little bit more spicy to happen, but it doesn't really seem to even get that far. mummAy will have to go massive, a 1 versus 2 for him to overcome. 1 versus 2, I'm sorry. Cage out. Oh, he faked it!
The fake.
Oh my god, it took me a second! It took me a second to realize that's
How does
actually
it work?
huge!
That's so smart! How did that happen?
I was confused for a second. That is unreal. mummAy is an absolute genius.
That kind of play gets you into the Mensa Club right there. His IQ is off the charts.
I don't even know what to say. I was confused for a second. I thought he missed his wall, but mummAy played that to absolute perfection. Luckily, the Cyber Cage went down at the perfect time as well, leading him to find that first kill cleanly. And from the second kill onward, I mean, really, there wasn't much of a chance for him other than to try to close the distance. So, stuck between a rock and a hard place. 5-5, all evened up. Envious, they have struck right back, again, showing that they are a team to be reckoned with. I always want to go back to that history knowing, again, they have faced off versus C9, and I've actually found really decent results doing it. This isn't the end of the line, even if TenZ is nearly on that 20 bomb. Even at that first halfway mark.
I talked about it. This map is a defender-sided map. The fact that the attackers have 5 is miraculous. This is a good start as any. So not nearly out of it yet as kaboose looks to push forward. If they can get 6, that would be absolutely amazing. Push comes in a good first kill, not the second. shinobi a double before falling. Could have been more, but not quite as mummAy gets the trade. mummAy also additionally finds the revive. Finesse is now back into the server, as now the retake will have to commence. It's TenZ and his teammate both coming through short. The wall is up, though, to stop their progress. Calypso's in their spawn as well. They've thoroughly been funneled in, and as a result, they'll think better of this retake. They'll fall away, and they'll give 6 to Envy.
Fair play by C9. Despite the overconfidence, I'm glad, you know, Mitch and TenZ know when to retreat, when to give this one up. A 2 versus 4, suicidal, quite obviously. They'll keep these up for a rainy day. The forecast isn't looking all too bad for Cloud9, to be completely honest. If you take a gander at the scoreboard real quick, I'm pretty certain that they'll have enough money. Might be a little bit tight, but I think if both of these players stay alive, they should be okay. Mitch is in a pretty clever spot as well. Should be able to find 1 kill. No way aKis is watching for this. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, they should be fine for this last round of the half here, but Envious, they can be pretty happy with their performance so far against, especially the Titan that they're up against in TenZ. He's up on 20 kills at the first half. That is unbelievable. Has the knives to expend as well. Okay, one thing I want to see, maybe TenZ going for the double updraft into trying to peek for an early kill over towards a main. I think that actually would do them a lot of justice, even though it seems like he's actually taking a little bit more attention over towards B. Maybe we can see the knives get used there. Indeed, that is going to be the case. Double updraft.
He's ready for it. Maybe ready to go for the peek.
Well, I'm ready for it. On the edge of my seat right now. Envious are kind of extending their range pretty wide. Don't seem to be all too committed over towards one area just yet. So standard default. Nothing to write home about. Mitch holding down the wall. Solid stuff from Envy at the moment. Gathering up over towards A. Have work for that ult orb. So much good map control to call theirs.
So much map control. You are 100% right. That being said, the score at large, if Envy can come out with an advantage at the end of this half on the attacker side, it would be amazing. That being said, I think Cloud9 are more of an attacking side of the team. With a spearhead like TenZ, I expect them to do better than normal. I'd expect them to get 5 or 6, but 7, it's asking quite a bit. So I think this is ever so critical. TenZ will open it up. A solid start. shinobi picks up where he left off, a second, and that is the advantage that Cloud9 needed in this final round of the first half. It's looking like a 6-6 scoreline. mummAy trying to find something towards this A site, but the wall will come up, and it will impede their progress greatly. Wall in response to trying to get over, and Calypso's blindsided. Now Mitch is trying to free fire. It's 15 seconds left. The slow orb should seal it. I should call it slow orb now. That word's getting a little bit disgusting.
Oh
but
my
yeah.
god. This is unreal, Envy. Oh no, this is so unfortunate. A single wall is going to cause the most problems that I think they've encountered so far this entire half. A flawless round for Cloud9. I think 3 of the 6 that they picked up in that first half were flawless as well. So when they win rounds, they win them very, very confidently. And 2 of the 6, indeed, yes, were actually TenZ aces. These have been really strange records for Cloud9 so far. Envy, I feel, as an overall unit, at least they're striking even, but Cloud9, the individual performance is most definitely there. You cannot deny that. Into the second half, what I really want to see from Envy? Well, kind of honestly hard to think of any big takeaways. They aren't exactly one of those teams that like going for double stacks from the times that I've seen them play Ascent. They focus a little bit more on, let's say, mid control. I think they usually stack like 2, maybe even sometimes 3 players outside of it. I might be wrong on that. One-way smoke missed, but that actually still might work out. Oh, this is kind of smart from Cloud9. They'll be going right through the dark cover. Here comes the execute in. TenZ first in line is first to die as well. And Envy are holding down the line perfectly. Everybody is getting their just desserts, but Calypso will have the majority share, the lion's share of all the frags in the round. 6-7. And Envy are on the fast track to taking a nice little 2 lead round differential. If we can get this second one together.
This is true. This is true. All good and true, but a big but. Last time we said the same thing. We said the same thing. TenZ and Co can most certainly answer back with pistols. Just classics, really. That's all we really need to get those kills. And it could be flawless like the last time. Who knows? You can never truly say, especially with TenZ, who's 22-6 currently in the server. That being said, Calypso, he's finally woken up. He got 3 in that round. He had 4 at the end of the first half. If he can come awake, it'll be good, and that's a solid start. Kaboose will drop Relyks towards the middle. That's the Omen dispatched. Mistaken, the only smoke agent aside from Jett in the server for the attackers. That's a massive blow early on.
I mean, the thing that made Cloud9's flawless eco round work last time they did it was that triple stack over towards mid. The fact that that's no longer really something that they have to worry about makes it considerably harder for them to actually kind of, break ground and really make it happen. But, I've been surprised before by Cloud9. Maybe they can do it again. Envy seem very primed in these positions. Kind of ready for most of everything at the moment. There's even a player, Kaboose, watching for any grass pushes. I think he might want to back up as soon as he makes contact again, however. This could be a little bit dangerous if he gets overwhelmed with the classics. Only has a Marshall to show for it. aKis will be, meanwhile, watching over towards mid, and this is what I was saying. I mean, Envious's positions are really solid at the moment. Cloud9, they don't really have the utility to try to close this gap, so there's going to have to be fed into the beast.
You're out.
2. It's a 3K in the round. The last alive is Vice on the Cypher, trying to tap it range with the Frenzy. It's so awkward. He'll get the dink, but Kaboose will close it. A 4K for that Marshall wielder. And now a lead of 2 for Envious, as the second round of this half does not meet the same fate as the first. And at this point, I think Envy might be able to close it out. The defending side technically is the easier, and TenZ hasn't really showed us anything crazy here in this second half as of yet.
I feel like he's done more than his fair share of work so far, though. I mean, this is where you can really see TenZ start to pop up. This is where you can see everybody on C9 really kind of make their mark. So I'm excited for this first gun round of play. We're going to see that standard A set piece that you see oh so often from so many different teams, the paranoia, and then a player right behind it. Kaboose actually going to be using his ultimate just to make it ever more convincing. Doesn't find much of anything, takes down a tripwire, but that's not really the solid information that they're looking for. They are going to bring a rotate over. That Omen will be present for the occasion. And the occasion on board actually might be a pushing over towards B. But C9, I mean, they gotta realize that their positions are kind of known at this point. The rotates are gonna be fast approaching. Regardless, they still want to commit to the idea. FNS will find his second, his third kill of the game, and what a time to show up too. Completely stopping this push, and it might not go any further. aKis is trying to hold down the line, but it doesn't work out. These guns are really starting to become a little bit mismatched versus the Phantoms that are in play from Cloud9. 2-on-2 for a retake. Man, you gotta take this one away from me, because I need to drink some water, I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna be difficult. 2 versus 2. Kaboose lining up some utility to try to go for this retake. Both players playing close to the chest and in the back of the site. Kaboose will flash in and trying to expedite in this retake. Spots the first, that's the player. Shinobi goes down, and Vice tries to put up a fight, but to no avail. mummAy will pick up where his teammates started, and it will be a round for Envy. Kaboose is waiting a bit longer so his teammate presumably can grab a rifle, but in the end it will still be a 9th round. A very nice scoreline at that for Envy.
Very nice indeed, and I have to say big props to FNS as well. It's hard to deny that he's been having a quiet game, regardless of the positions that he's been given. He was 1-11 before that round started. Those 2 kills really solidified the deal for Envious, and they're it made that comeback retake a lot more palatable. Words are hard right now. Don't worry, I'm not a caster or anything.
Indeed.
One way.
We are definitely not casters.
One way. This is actually huge too. Take a gander at that one way that was popped down. It actually hits on top of that roof that you see to aKis's right at the moment. This means that a crossfire is going to be so perfect for them. Basically, the B site is locked down because of that single cyber cage alone.
Yeah, it is virtually locked down. That being said, these players will still try to go for it slowly but surely. And the Relyks will alert towards middle. There's no one really in mid. Omen just now rotating around. That's Envy Calypso, rather. Just in time to try and find something as he hears the fake teleport.
Telly.
Now he's kind of scared, but he's still watching the right direction. A whiffed opportunity from Relyks, but neither team seizes the opportunity. TenZ, in the meantime, he's gotten out onto the platform here towards the market. Such an awkward duel. aKis will find the first, but he's blindsided. Shinobi instead will find that kill. Finesse, in the meantime, though, lurking up the stairwell on the site, finds TenZ. Calypso drops Shinobi. It's all on the Omen. It's chaos, but it will finally conclude. No, it won't. Relyks, he does find one, but only a Bucky and a Frenzy to work with. This range seems near impossible. No spike in his possession either. Calypso just lurking ever so slightly forward. At this point, he's delaying the inevitable. Teleports across, that's something, but mummAy's already waiting for it. Right into his maw he comes. It will be an easy kill, and it double digits now for Envy here. Keep in mind, this is an elimination game. At this point, it's lower bracket semis.
Both of these teams have been wonderful to actually make it this far, but yeah, obviously it's looking really good for Envious at the moment. They would go on to actually face TSN in the lower bracket finals as well for the spot in the grand finals, which all of it will be happening today as well. So non-stop Valorant action. Long days for all of us, I'm sure. But especially so for the players as well, because C9 have been fighting tooth and nail just to stay alive. They made top 4. But it would suck to have their run end here, especially off these individual performances, like from TenZ in particular. Now, I like this from Envy. They're going to be going into their own dark cover over towards mid. I saw this used, I want to say by TenZ? No, it was a team in the open qualifier yesterday. It didn't work out at all. It was a complete disaster when they tried it. But when 2 players are committed to the fight, it works a lot better, I have to say. You get a free kill out of it.
Well done. That smoke running through it. Almost gonna peek all the way down towards the B halls, but they did elect to give it away. Mitch on the other side of the map, though, in towards the B halls, will find the first for his team, evening up the man count now in a 4 versus 4. That being said, time is slowly beginning to tick away as again it appears Cloud9 want to go for this mid take. aKis is close at hand this time around. Will they clear him? Yes, but he'll still find one before falling. TenZ does get the trade. The heavy hitter will stay alive, but will somehow survive. mummAy misses the opportunity. The chaos zone by that giant glide and leap into the air is enough to secure that kill and, by extension, the B site. Kaboose now trying to slowly lurk forward. He will indeed clear things out. He will begin to surmise as to where these players will be located, but again, it's going to be difficult. 2 versus 3 now. The similar flash to before. He'll blind the first. That's Shinobi. Scratch still playing the back of sight, though. Now he's been spotted. TenZ has he overstayed his welcome? Yes, he has. Calypso finds that the last alive. The operator misses his opportunity, but still a second. He will connect this time around, but the stick is coming in. No Calypso. He'll only get to half before turning his sights towards the catwalk. Oh, his timing's everything here, but Mitch, the classic in hand. His headshot will miss. A big triple for the Sage Opper to find that round and to stave off penultimate map point for Envy.
That's why I absolutely adore Mitch as well. We've been shouting TenZ's name into the skies, but Mitch, I mean, hell, only has half the kills of the Jett superstar at the moment, but a pivotal clutch to keep C9 in this game, not only mentally, but obviously with the round differential as well. That is monumental for them. C9, they punish the economy pretty hard for Envy, and aKis will be stuck on a Bucky as a result. I'm guessing we're going to be seeing that set place again. Yep, there it is. The paranoia into the run it back as well to search for some incredibly early A control. Kaboose, he's so confident, just going to be running knives out at the moment to search for any info. And what you're going to be probably seeing here is the defenders, I was going to say they might be rotating to fit the scenario, but no, they're holding their ground. They know that this actually might be a fake over, and indeed they're smart for thinking it. TenZ shot out of the sky like a clay pigeon. mummAy was having none of it this time around after the display that happened with that gigantic glide, as you called it. Much better. Snuffing out C9 early before this push is even able to begin. Rez is going to be used, so still, I guess we're on even footing once more.
5 on 5. Now they'll begin to retake that map control that was previously lost to that run it back. That being said, it looks like Envy are wise to this. They rotated now 3 around. They're getting a 4th here. Completely foregoing mid again. Cypher's camera's there. He has complete control. The arrow should pretty much give it away. mummAy at this point is trying to hold on to the site. He will be blindsided, but Mitch and Vice find one apiece. Calypso only good for one. Vice yet another as he closes the door, and it's a good take. Even with the information, Calypso and Envy can't pick up the pieces. It's going to be difficult. Finesse and his counterpart for short, aKis, left to try and find out what they can do. The Bucky, though, is a big handicap in this round, not to mention the man disadvantage, and yep, Finesse will turn away. It will be an 8th round for Cloud9. Now, something to mention now that we have a bit of time to breathe. TenZ, talked about him so much in the first half. He has been quiet in the second. He has dropped 2. We talked about the magical potential 40 bomb, and it was the caster's curse, obviously. That's definitely the biggest answer and the most plausible answer here, as he's only dropped 2 in the second half and 4 in round, 6 of the second half, so definitely uncharacteristic for the heavy hitter of Cloud9. That being said, during that brief spiel, aKis did manage to sneak by and grab an upgraded weapon that was a Vandal before the round concluded. So at least 2 rifles coming into this round for Envy, as they only lead by 2 here in the later stages of this second half.
Barely clinging on to that lead for sure. Now, this is a bit of a strange scenario for Envy to be in as well. It seems that they are going to be forcing up what they can. How? Oh, forgot that they already had guns. They didn't have to expend all too much money. Calypso will be on Bulldog duty just to have a little bit more utility to his name. Envious, as a result, will be able to strike even the artillery that Cloud9 currently has in hand. This is a really, really important round for the economy, if nothing else. Really
they found my
keep your eye on Envy in particular. How are they going to adjust to how C9 have been playing, in particular over towards mid? Giving it a little bit more love as of recent, but this time B is the occupied state. aKis will be trying to drone prod his way through. There's no set piece this time over towards A, and indeed they're going to be going for the other side completely. FNS rewarded with a kill for his efforts. His kills have been few and far between, but definitely important. Every single one that he's gotten, I feel like, hasn't been one of those exit frags or anything. No, they have all been incredible impact frags, and this is no different. A 4 versus 5 basically forces the hand of Cloud9 to make a play happen. But as they try to do it, they will actually fall as well. The Sage is now down for Cloud9 as well. Envious. They haven't even really had to go into a full retake position yet, but they still have kind of stopped Cloud9 in their tracks. The B site, oh my god, they haven't even made their way in. It's just kind of tense at the moment here. It's just a matter of time before those duels actually start coming through, and indeed, there it is. The dam will break, and Calypso will be there as the first responder. Trades blow for blow. A quiet finish. Cloud9 don't really seem to show up for that one at all. And Envious, I mean, that was kind of a strange passive play for them. They didn't really need to have to retake control whatsoever. The only time I saw them actually taking a fight was FNS right towards the beginning at B main, and that's it. All in all, fights came to them.
That's all you need to do. That's textbook first-person shooter. You get that opening duel, you get that advantage, and you fade back to the sites. You slowly contain your enemies, don't take duels that could end in an untraded casualty, and continue on in that kind of passive-aggressive fashion. You know, we saw Calypso going for a peek every once in a while, just getting information, and that worked fantastic. It was only 2 players falling. And now, penultimate map point, penultimate series point, penultimate elimination point, as the loser will be taken out of the qualifications, taken out of the potential for the grand final. Where, of course,
Envy. Just want to point that out real quick before you get back into it. This is huge.
It is. Trying to go for the take. They will counter very little resistance, but that ultimate, the Hunter's Fury, will not find much. aKis will open it up, but it is a good trade from Relyks to answer back. That's the Sova dispatched as the spike is planted. 4 versus 4. All 4
you will not
of the
kill
players
my ally.
for Team Cloud9 are on site, and that's going to be difficult. Vice trying to diversify their investments will go towards the catwalk as Relyks teleports away as well towards middle. Now things begin to get interesting. Now this post plant's going to get weird. At this point, aKis tries to walk forward. The spam coming in. Doesn't really find anything. Relyks will find one kaboose. A good trade via Vice, but Relyks the third. It TenZ one for himself as well. Kaboose tries to pick up the pieces, but he can't. It's Finesse alone. 1 versus 1. As TenZ in the back of sight. But he's overthinking it. Time is of the essence. The classic is out. Oh, but TenZ will win the classic duel as Cloud9 stay alive with a score of 9-11. Of Envious, but still a very close round at the very end. A total carnage. All 10 players in the server fall.
Yes, this should do.
fighting tooth and nail, really. It's just kind of impossible to tell who's the lead because the trades were wonderful from both sides of the equation. So, you know, fair play for Envy. They started from that retake position. From the start, they completely rescinded control of B. Not 100% certain on what their info was to go for that setup, but it worked to a pretty decent degree. I would like to see them maybe try to pull that out in the future. Just wonderful fights taken by T9, and we're on top of their trades. Ended up being able to win that one out by time, if nothing else. To this next one, though, Envy will go back to their standard setup, sending two kind of in anchor positions. FNS and aKis holding it down. Mid, completely barren from both sides, and interestingly enough, they're not going to be doing that paranoia in over towards A main. I actually feel now would be a great time to do it because of the slow pace that currently C9 are showing off. A recon dart could also be massive. Lots of opportunity for Envious at the moment to try to get onto that match point. Dart will come in though, and that's going to immediately stunt some rotates to come in. Mitch finally gets some use out of that aggressive wall up over towards B main, and the picks will be there right behind it from his friends as well, his comrades in arms, all finding the kills that they could hope for. And this is an absolutely wonderful round from C9 so far. Envious, they're not even going to bother going for this. They know that their eco is fragile. They're going to save these guns for a rainy day, but I gotta tell you, man, the forecast is looking awfully gloomy.
It is, well, gloomy for their team, but in the grand scheme of things, we're talking a very, very bright forecast for the future of this game. It's 10-11. We're within one at the, basically the finish gate, the finish line. At this point, whoever crosses, whether it be with overtime or without it, they will have earned it. And I must say, this has been an absolutely bangarang game to cast so many entertaining moments and so many clutch plays. Kaboose will get one on the exit before falling away, but again, it's inevitable. It's a 10-11 game as Cloud9 secure their round with a very convincing B take.
Kaboose just gets started, doesn't even care about it. Very great take from Cloud9. They had a lot of moving parts to that, so you can be pretty happy with that. Kaboose, he has that run it back in play, so taking a gander at the radar would show that it seems that they want to be going for that set play once more. It's been getting a lot of love as of recent, and I can't exactly deny it. However, I'm not 100% sure if C9 actually have a read on this. You see how they kind of have two players not exactly committed to it. Maybe a bit of a counter, since they know they've been trying that in the past. All in all, though, another slow default. C9, they don't need to change up the equation. It seems to be working out just fine in recent history for them. 10-11, as you mentioned. We're just about even in play.
Yes, we are. It's interesting. Kaboose got his ultimate off that last exit in the last round, and he didn't use it to push up towards A long. Instead, he plays towards Catwalk. He doesn't even require the run it back. He'll find two before falling, as now Calypso looks to hold the site. Timing with everything here. Finesse, he will spot 10, but not find the kill. Calypso, though, will get the trade, limiting that liability to just one death. Now things begin to get interesting. Calypso gets the spot as well. So much information being gained. So much positioning being ascertained as he's now camped. He's not long, but they'll still find one before falling. That's the best case scenario, as that leaves Vice in the 1-on-2. He will use the neural threat to get enough information and give himself confidence to go for that spike recovery. But again, it seems near impossible. aKis up in heaven with the recon dart. Sage coming in towards Catwalk. At this point, he wants to isolate a duel as early as possible. He wants to even the playing field. Being said, it's going to be difficult. He jumps up, but he's not meant to be. It will be aKis to win the duel, and it will be 12 for Envy to the 10 of Cloud9. They have stayed ever so ahead of their competition here on the defending side.
TenZ at 29 as well. You mentioned that he's had a slower half from the first, and yes, while that was an incredibly high bar to set, I feel like he has still had a pretty massive impact, but Kaboose has just done them one better. 26 frags for the former CS. I'm not going to say legend or anything, but I don't know. I really loved watching him play towards the end, especially when he was on Selfless. Good times with that, man. He's showing up most definitely here. That run it back, excuse me, is still in play, and it's not going to be used over towards A. Instead, he's going to be trying to take a different approach, a different route, and it only works out for a little bit of damage. That's a tag up that can easily be healed. And it's minimal losses for Cloud9.
Cage trigger.
Potentially on elimination point as well. Every little piece of damage matters. mummAy realizes this. Will try to go for a little bit of damage of his own volition, peeking out wide with this operator. Spots the player, doesn't hit the shot, but he's not going to try to go for a second chance. He knows that it's too dangerous and there's too much on the line. Across the minute mark, C9 haven't made any big moves just yet.
They have not. Slowly trying to link up towards middle. It looks like the cat play is the call. TenZ looks to take point, but mummAy and kaboose are here. Looks like Cloud9 might know that. It's Jett just slowly veering forward. He'll in fact beat Thea. That's mummAy to fall. Kaboose trying to get the trade, but the window of opportunity does close on his fingertips. He will fall away. Still an advantage for Cloud9. TenZ furthers it a second through the edge of the smoke. Calypso not trying to make the play, but he can't do it. Instead, he'll only further the deficit as Vice finds that kill. 20 seconds left. 2 players surviving. Make that one. aKis will fall. It's a finesse. He could, theoretically. The spike. Oh, he might just win it.
Brought over. No, it's fine. They brought the bomb over towards A. That was just a wonderful mid-round call from C9. That could have been so scary, but they realized where the defense was actually stacked up. Oh, it had my heart pumping for a second. We're fine, however. TenZ is on 32 kills. This doesn't feel like the most reliable way to win your rounds, Cloud9, I'll be honest, but it seems to be doing the trick so far. The second highest on Cloud9 is Mitch, a name which I have personally given some creds for how he's really been a solid anchor for the team. He's still only at half the kills, half the score of TenZ. This is a really scrappy buy from NBSO, and that's what I want to take away from this one. This is why I said this round was so important. Their economy is just in shambles as a result. It's a great depression for NBS. Right now, they surely don't want to bring it to OT. That's around the corner, one and done position. That's pretty much all you can hope for sometimes when you're equipped with a frenzy. aKis might be in the same sort of scenario, but he's not even going to get a 1 before he's done. Cloud9 stomping over the B site at the moment. Might have just brought this to OT. They're just a couple of kills away from doing it. Calypso is going to take this one sitting down. However, he will strike back and taking down TenZ, the superstar. The retake will begin. Calypso has the right idea with that spray. He's actually found another kill on top of it. Calypso is giving them a real chance at the moment, but surely they aren't going to be ready for this player waiting in over towards the boathouse. Indeed, that is not the case. Vice will finish up the job with a triple kill, and indeed, it is the case for us, Pineapple Phillips. We're going to OT.
Again, seems to be the curse. Did mummAy miss a point-blank operator shot right there? I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
You hate to see it at one of the most critical times. That being said, a valiant attempt from Calypso, but it just wasn't enough. The money shambolic, as Gus Upmind would put it, and just couldn't be over game. Envy now on the defending side once again for the first round of overtime. And at this point, I feel like the defending side is a must-win. Whoever wins their attacking side first should win the overtime. That is how I feel about it. Because again, it is a win by 2. You get 1 round on either side.
In theory, it makes sense. Those ultimates not being available, everybody marked down to that halfway point, means that we aren't going to be seeing that paranoia into run-it-back play that I oh so love seeing. Cross-map smoke, though, actually kind of makes things a little bit interesting. They're faking cat presence with that one. Do they actually maybe push aggro mid with this? Definitely a couple of options for C9 at the moment, but they're going to take a safer approach. Passive play from them as they actually bring 4 defenders to the A bomb site. Wonderfully read. They actually might have Envious's number right now.
They might. I thought it was. Excuse me. I thought it was Envy on the defending side. It's obviously not. They're definitely going for the attacking side here. It's being well read, like you said. Uncharacteristic. Cloud9 actually taking initiative on a rotation. It's very good to see, and that might just lead to a defender-sided victory here. That being said, don't count on Envy. Kaboose on the entries has been so very snappy with the Vandal, and this round should be no different. He has been the heavy hitter, and here it comes, flashes forward to the wall. So poetic. He'll still find the first. That's TenZ. This match, the second closes. Mitch, he's good for 2 in response. So Relyks is backing up. He's got 2 more as well to boot. 1 player left, and the reload is heard. It's Calypso, and he's just trying to isolate a duel. It will be Relyks to get the 3K. And a 13-12 lead now for Cloud9 after the first round of overtime.
Bit of a fumble. TenZ's position, I guess he wasn't quite expecting to be caught out that early, but Mitch and Relyks both stepped up to the plate massively. Mitch in particular, I don't know how that man stayed alive for so long. That wall provided him so much hope and so much love, so much space as well, and Relyks obviously got the lion's share of kills in that round, but yeah, again, I always want to shout out my boy Mitch. He was pivotal into making that success for Cloud9 as they are now at match point, as he mentioned, one away from eliminating Envious, and considering what this was looking like for a while, it would be a heartbreaker for Envy. He'll go up to fight TSM as well, I should mention, if they do indeed win this last round.
My eyes are down.
Finesse now, playing just very close around this smoke, trying to diversify his positions. It might just catch this play off. Who knows? Relyks could use it. He does have it up. Question is, would he waste it on such a close angle when they haven't really played it too much? That is always the question, though. 5-on-5. Envy fighting to stay alive at this point, again on the back foot for the first time in quite a while. And what a time to be caught on the back foot. Will be cleared, but he'll still win the duel. That's a solid start. Relyks dispatch. That's the lone lurk, but the arrow should be enough. Good. Nope. He's alive. Finesse somehow. He still stays alive. The dart will prove that player is still there, but the operator to support mummAy, fantastic, finds that kill, and somehow his teammate stays alive, combined with the healing. It's chaos. The quick scope does not work out. It was a little bit foolhardy, but the jumping classic will. Finesse finds that kill, and it should be all but done. 4 versus 2. Oh, Mitch lurking forward. Finesse is still looking for it, though. He'll find it. A third kill in the round. How is he still alive? He'll sow chaos. Vice is the position known the neural theft. Gets the spot. And with 10 seconds left, Vice should have no chance in this round. It will be a second overtime as kaboose finds the snappy headshot. Oh my goodness, Ito. We are going so very far into this one.
I just absolutely love how FNS played that one. Again, not one of those names that I feel like I've been screaming to the heavens all too much, but that round was unbelievably well played by him. Winning that first duel, that was huge. I mean, that's standard. That's what you hope to see out of him. But the fact that he stays alive for so long, manages to avoid that double shock dart, and buys enough time for mummAy to come in on the rotate, that is textbook. That is something that you would hope for to see. That's what you would see as an example of, you know, how to peel for yourself. Really. It's going to work out to a wonderful degree. C9 now on the defense once more here in Envy. Will be in a conga line formation to bring it out over at B. But are they actually take this over? I don't know. There's no reason for them to commit this early. Nope, they just want to bring the fight straight to B. Never mind, regardless of what I'm saying, they still think full sending it over towards the B bomb play is their best bet. I don't quite agree with it, but maybe Envy are going to put up a convincing argument for themselves. A 2-on-3, FNS finds one, but they need a little bit more here. There needs to be a big play happen, or a big play happening, excuse me. If it doesn't come to fruition, mummAy will just try to stave off the inevitable, but they're all closing in. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. The hard place will eventually take him out. He's crushed. And the full send over towards B maybe doesn't pan out how they would hope.
Crushed into the weight on his shoulders. No real chance in that round. And again, Cloud9 find themselves with series point with the opportunity to fight against TSM in the losers finals, which of course will be brought to you by Boggs and Upmind. That will be right after this, following a brief break, of course. That being said, TenZ has crossed that 32 mark. Did I say Soli? Did I not say Soli? I said Boggs and Upmind. Oh well, Soli, Boggs and Upmind. Boggs is on the camera. My bad.
He's been on the camera all day. Been a long shift for him. Well, regardless of that, last chance for Envy to stay alive. Last time it was a miracle that they managed to hold on to a single player for so long. FNS was practically on life support, but still stayed alive for so long thanks to the help of mummAy. But now, he's holding in a different position entirely in over towards Boathouse. He's going to be checked out immediately. TenZ, he's taking matters into his own hands. This is about where Cloud9 just say, we've had enough of this. We don't want to face TSM. And I think TenZ has just about gotten to, what, 35 kills now? 34. He's been out on tear regardless. At this point, numbers are barely the difference maker. So that does a real number on C9. mummAy, that's actually a huge kill. This retake has a little bit of legs to stand on at the moment, and they're going to go for it. Now, I mean, it's really going to be all on shinobi to try to close the distance, and he'll do it just fine. That double is wonderful, and that just might have done it. The time is starting to tick on that clock so much, but Relyks will close us out in fashion. 15-13, Cloud9. They will eliminate Envious despite the best antics, despite the best hope. And they will go on to face TSM in the lower bracket finals. Unreal performances from TenZ. Again, that's a name that I just always have to shout out. I know that casters like saying that a lot, but it's hard to deny the impact that he has.